Hello, good evening and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Offender. Now I'm off to B&Q. People have been asking where we get the masks from. Not the masks, the bloody trays and propagators and all of that kind of stuff for starting the seeds off with. Well, we usually get them from Paul Green or elsewhere, but we're getting them from B&Q today. I'm going to have a nip up there now and go and see what they've got, and you'll see that in a minute. So people have been asking where you get the grow bag trays from, and the £5.13p at B&Q. It show you the dimensions on it. It might tell you the dimensions on it. The glasses are steaming up because I've got a stupid bloody mask on. Hang on a minute. Ridiculous. Anyway, there you go. Does it give you the dimensions on that? 97 centimetres by 38 centimetres and 5 centimetres deep. The dish of the tray is 5 centimetres deep. You can't talk with these bloody masks on. It's like being gagged. Probably no bad thing for me missus, like, but rubbish. Anyway, B&Q, £5.13p at the moment. They've got this range of propagators in as well. Propagators. So they're the trays with the holes in. So you need another tray underneath that. But also there's the glass covers or the perspex covers, clear perspex covers. My glasses are steaming up again with this stupid mask on. Ridiculousness. Yeah, so there's the covers, clear covers. Different sizes. That's a big one, isn't it? Yeah, but it's they're relatively dear though, aren't they? I don't suppose they're that expensive, really. You're talking, what, just over £12, aren't you, for the setup? And then you put your cells in there. Or whatever. Not too bad, I suppose, is it, really? £2, £3.35, so that's £5.35 for one of that size, and you're talking about £12.7p for that. But there's these smaller ones as well, that's £1. These ones are £1, and the covers are £2, so that's £3 for ones like these. And they're quite, I like the fact that they're quite tall as well, so it gives you enough space for putting your, oh God, this mask. For putting your labels in there, and you know, your seedling starts can get to about 3 inches, which is what you want. And check them off actually after a couple of weeks once they've germinated and stuff. Although at this time of year, probably as well leaving them on for a bit. Gives you an extra bit of zone protection. But yeah, B&Q, Bob and Quentin's. Hello. I'm just going to show you something now that might be of interest. When you get compost, even commercially grown compost, commercially made compost, on the surface it looks pretty fine and dandy and crumbly, like that. Well, I'll just show you something now. I'll just give it a bit of a riddle through this sieve. I'll show you what we get at the end of it. This is the clover compost as well, which is supposed to be the good stuff that we get from up at the shop off Ken. Look at them lumps and bumps. That's material that hasn't rotted down to a fine consistency, isn't it? But I've just done 5 of them all together, and if you look at that, that's what we've got. All those lumps and bumps. This is a 1/4 inch sieve, so there's no particulate matter that's above 1/4 inch, or around 6 millimetres or something like that. It is 5 or 6 millimetres square that can get through that and get into our mix. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. Pays to be diligent, doesn't it? Anyway, that's more like it. That's more like the soft and crumbly consistency that we want. Into that, I'm going to put some fine vermiculite. Now, again, the stuff we got from the shop is vermiculite, but it's not fine. I'll show you the difference. This is the stuff we got from the shop. I'm not slagging off the shop, but that's the sort of consistency we got from the shop, which is around about 5 or 6 millimeters per grain. These are about 1 to 2 millimeters though of this fine stuff. This fine vermiculite. And what we're going to do is we're going to put about 25, make the mix about 25% fine vermiculite. Some people go up to 50% with it, but I think that's a bit excessive, to be honest. It's not that cheap, vermiculite. It's good stuff, don't get me wrong. It aerates the soil and allows the root systems to penetrate through your mix and what have you. Allows for better drainage and stuff like that. But I don't think you need more than about 1/3 vermiculite to 2/3 sieved compost. People have different variations on a theme, don't they, I suppose. Well, that's what we're using anyway. Because what we're going to be growing is, we're going to be starting off some spring onions, which are these called White Lisbon Winter Hardy White Lisbon, those. And you can plant them or start them off up until end of October. So we are pushing it a little bit, really, because it's kind of like I think it's the 18th now of October, so it's gone past the midpoint of October, and we're due frosts in the next few days, so I might be tempting fate a little bit here. But they're going to be grown indoors, inside the polytunnel, and also inside a propagator, a perspex covered propagator. So yeah, they're going to get every chance, and it just remains to be seen. But that's a nice loose crumbly mix now that we've got there. Okay, I have sieved some more of the stuff that was in the tray previously. I'm gonna use that because it's got the bigger chunks in. I'm going to use that for getting more peas and beans up and running. But with our onions, our springies, that's the mix that I'm going to be using, boys and girls. Okay. So here's a seed tray. As you can see, there are holes inside it, drainage holes inside this one. Now all I'm going to be doing with the spring onions, because we're going to be getting them off and running in here over winter, is I'm going to get them all cast into here, a casting of the seeds into that. It's 38 centimetres by 20 centimetres, that. So yeah, okay. In they go. In this mix goes into here. Not going to be putting any nutrition at the moment into it. Just let the seeds do the magic. Fill up our little box. You can't see that, can you? Difficult to get the right angle in the tiki tunnel. Difficult to get the right angle for it. I'm just flattening it out as best as I can inside the tray. I should have something to press it down with, really, shouldn't I? Like that. Just to get like an even bed, really, when we're casting our seeds upon the earth. I'm going to do 2 trays of these with probably about 60 60 onions in a piece. And what we'll do, we'll thin them out, you know, and take them as sort of like onion chives or whatever over the months. And maybe prick a few out. Probably will prick them all out in the end and pop them on. So you'll have about, you know, like 6 in each one of these little pots. Well, this is just to get them off and running, this really. So we'll do the White Lisbon, Winter Hardy. Same regime as before, where we want to retain the sow-by and all that information on the bottom, just by gently lifting up the flap, taking out the inner seed pack, the foil seed pack, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be broadcasting these seeds. I mean, there are other ways of doing it. What you could do if you want. In fact, shall we? Shall we do it? About an inch apart. We'll put little depressions in the soil. I'll pause it. Don't want to bore you. There's 60 depressions, like shallow depressions that are put into that tray now. We've got the seeds there. Now all I'm going to do is use the matchstick method. So a damp matchstick, as you can see there. Oh. And then the surface tension of the water that's on the end of the match picks up your seed. We've shown you this before, haven't we? Like that. And then all I do is I tap it into the hole. And then keep going along. Until we've done the whole tray. So all our little depressions are in. I've done 2 trays. One's got 60 and this one's got 70 holes in, spaced about an inch apart. Now, there's no real need to thin them out. Just pull them up as they come up. You can pull them up and have them as chives, like, you know. But we're just going to cover them over now with a gentle sprinkling. Of the fine compost. And gently pat it down. Don't want it too deep because obviously they only want to be shallowly sown, no more than a centimetre deep. These, so you've got to be gentle. We have a gentle touch with them. Which surprisingly, I have got a gentle touch, mate. Believe it or not. Give them all a pat down. So they're probably less than a centimetre below the ground. They're about 8 millimetres below the ground. I haven't actually checked on the packet. I've probably planted them too deep. Shallow drills, 1.5 centimetres, half an inch deep. So it's about right, isn't it? I'd say they're a good, around about a centimetre deep then. But I think they'll be okay. I think they'll live. I think they'll live, thrive, and survive in there, mate. I don't see why not. So they're gently patted in and patted down. I put the little depression in so that it drops just below the surface, so that when you do top it up with the fine compost, you don't tend to disturb the seeds and move them all around. So if you're gentle with it and just press them in, making sure you're getting a nice firm contact with the seed, a compost contact with the seed. All we're going to do now is give them a mist spraying. So I'll go and get my sprayer. Okay. So they're all moistened now, nice and damp. We've got white Lisbon, spring onion, and the date. Now the WH stands for winter hardy. I know what that means, so we're all right there, aren't we? So all I'm going to do is put a label in. Letting us know what the score is. White Lisbon. Now I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to show you where I'm putting these. So they're into the tray and they're into the propagators as well. And we said they cost about a £5 a piece or something like that at B&Q, didn't they? For the set. There's a tenner's worth there, plus the tray below, that was about £3, I think. And that's where they're going to stay. I've left the vents open, so obviously in the warmth of the day, you're going to get condensation coming up. All that compost is damp, so I've not put any more water into that tray. That's just damp soil, damp compost that's in there. You'll get the evaporation coming, collecting like it is doing there on the inside of the propagator lid, and it'll retain that moisture, and that'll be good conditions there for the germination. Once they're germinated and they're poking through, it might be a different case for the glass on top, or I might lift it up a little bit, just a little bit more air in. I might lift up the propagator lid a bit more to get some air going in there, so we don't get that condensation. We don't want it to get too damp, and we'll be getting rot off, we're dampening off, which we don't want. But yeah, that's where they're going. Right, so next up, I'm gonna be doing a wild rocket layer cake in a bucket. A layer cake of growing medium, that is, in a bucket. That's our next step. So that's our bucket, and this is our sieved big bits. So that's going to go in first into the bucket. Our sieved big bits. Next off, we're going to get the unsieved compost, which is in there. And what we're going to do with that is put that into the bucket. So I've not sieved it, it's just got the big bits of vermiculite in there. All I'm going to do with this now, because it's rocket and it'll like nitrogen, is I'm going to be mixing in some chicken manure, organic chicken manure, probably about 1/4 cupful into that. Okay, 1/4 cupful of organic chicken manure pellets is going to be mixed in with the unsieved compost and about 15% vermiculite mix. We'll give that a good working through, like that. And then all I'm going to do there is put that mix on top of our big bits that we filtered out from the potting mix. So that's the big bit, the big mix there with the big chunks of vermiculite in and the big chunks of debris. Because it's there, then the water drainage will be assisted by the big bits. We've got the big bits, medium size, and then on top I'm going to put a potting mix, put about 1.5 inches of potting mix on top of that, in the same way that we did the potting mix for the onions just then. So I'll just do that. So there's the coarse compost, coarse vermiculite and chicken manure pellets. And as you can see there, it's 1.5 inches to 2 inches away from the top. So I've got a fine mix there, which is like a potting mix, a seedling mix. And all I'm going to be doing now is just sprinkling this in the top layer. Getting that in, getting a layer of that in. I'll just level all that off. Flatten it off. And then we're going to just broadcast the rocket on top. Give it another bit of a covering to about 1/2 centimetre. The job's a good one. Now these rocket seeds are properly microscopic. That's one right in the centre there. Can you see that sort of yellowy orange coloured microscopic seed? They are really, really tiny. So I broadcast quite a few on the top there, as you can see. You can see the little orange specks. And all I'm going to do is just cover them up with the compost to a depth of about 5 or 6 millimetres. In fact, let's have a quick look. Make sure I'm not going daft here. Oh, it says 1 inch deep. Right, so what I'll do with them then is I'll see if I can focus it again. I'll just fill it up to the rim of the bucket. We'll be having these as little baby leaves as they come up anyway, and thinning them and thinning them and thinning them until we just get about, what, 5 or 6 plants in there at the end. We might let them, if they can, let them grow on. Okay. It's not right to the very top, I know, but I think that'll do. Really, they're really small seeds. I don't want to bury them too deep. They're not going to see any sunshine, are they? And get the idea. So I'm going to moisten that one off again and get that into one of the grow bag trays. Okay, wild Tresia rocket. Probably about 100 seeds in there, but we'll see how they get on. And there we are. Probably one of the last picks of the beans. There's still plenty of beans on there, but they're starting to get less vibrantly green and a bit more yellow and wrinkly. It's because it's coming to the end of the season for them really now. There's a couple there, check them. Coming to the end of the season now, these beans, but they've done us proud. I mean, these have been producing now for what, 8 weeks? These ones have been producing for about 12 weeks, and they're still going okay. The one that we planted the first was that one, and that was about 14 weeks ago. There's nothing left on that one actually now, really. That can come away from its mates, that. But yeah, in the next week or two we'll be checking them out anyway, and we're going to get some more things in the ground, some more alliums in the ground in the shape of garlic and onions. Going to be taking up the space in here, I think, unless I leave it fallow. I'm indecisive at the moment, but some of the big pods I'm going to be leaving on so we can get the seeds off them. I've already got quite a few seeds saved in there, quite a few pods, probably about 50 pods. So we'll have a couple of 100 seeds for next year off these. These are the elf beans. We think the cobra beans, but they're from the wise old elf. Anyway, there we are. We've about what, 3/4 of a pound, something like that, of beans. You get that every couple of days off these. And that's me. Right, and I just don't like having bare soil. And I have got a lot of onion and garlic I can still put out. So I'm going to be getting that bed filled up. That bed filled up. The bed over there. And I'm going to be taking those crappy onions out, putting some more nitrogen in the soil, and I might just put bloodfish and bone in. I'll see what I've got. And then that'll be it. As I say, we're going to be taking those cauliflowers out. Probably take that kale as well for this weekend and have a meal with that. And there you go. Lots of beetroot to come out anyway, and leeks, plenty of leeks, leafy salad greens and all of that. There's plenty to come out yet still, but yeah, that's why I'm starting off all of these ones now. We're going to be wanting more grub for around Christmas time, even if it's baby leaf, even if we get loads of trays of baby leaf on the go, like baby spinach and stuff like that. It's all greenery, isn't it? It's all good green stuff. So if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. This is Gordon Mafindi on a Monday evening. And remember, we love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other, and keep growing with your head down. Bye bye, boys and girls. I'll see you in a bit.